Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our reading through the Tanak night, the 29th of October 2025. Okay, we'll be reading 5 chapters like we normally do every Wednesday. We'll be reading out of the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 16 through 20. We're going to read the scriptures, then we'll break them down and we'll talk about it. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine, get the meat out. These scriptures will lead you to these videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And we have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen if you want to support this channel. That too would be greatly appreciated. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanak and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Savior and our Redeemer and our Deliverer, the Lord of Hosts. This channel was created to aid and assist all Hebrews who are waking up to their true identity and understanding who they are, understanding who their Savior and their Redeemer truly is. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh class. Okay, we're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, psalms. We have some current events, need to know information, and we'll open it up for questions and comments, dialogue. Then our topic for discussion is mass blackouts. So America's silent judgment. We're going to deal with that, play the video, and then we'll discuss it. And then we go to Deuteronomy, and we'll be reading chapters 16 to 20. Okay, reading and breaking down. And as usual, we pick a scripture, read that scripture, break it down, then we talk about it, and we close out. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this hour, praising you, honoring you because of your position both in heaven and upon the earth, the position in which the Creator Yahweh have given unto thee. Through your spirit and counsel, O Lord, we have awakened. We have awakened to know who you are who we are as your people, and who you are as our Savior and our Redeemer. And we are thankful for all that you have done, and we eagerly searching scriptures out that we may be at the right place at the right time upon your arrival to this planet. We love you and we seek you daily, O Lord, and there is none else beside thee to redeem us. When we see you in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await your deliverance. Peace be unto you. Okay. Read the song right quick. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalm 7. It's prayer for deliverance. Okay. It says, O Lord, my God, in thee do I put my trust. Save me from all them that persecute me and deliver me. Lest he tear my soul like a lion, rending it in pieces, while there is none to deliver. O Lord, my God, if I have done this, if there be iniquity in my hands, if I have rewarded evil unto him that was at peace with me, yea, I have delivered him that without cause is my enemy. Let the enemy persecute my soul, and take it, yea, and let him tread down my life upon the earth, and lay mine honor in the dust. Selah, arise, O Lord, in thy anger, lift up thyself because of the rage of mine enemies, and await for me to the judgment that thou hast commanded. So shall the congregation of the people compass thee about. For their sake, therefore, return thou on high. The Lord shall judge the people. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness and according to my integrity that is in that is in me. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just, for the righteous God trieth the hearts and the reins. My defense is of God, which saveth the upright in heart. God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. Okay. If he turn not, he with his sword, he have bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own plate. I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness, and I will sing praises to the name of the Lord Most High. Okay, that was Psalm 7, prayer for deliverance. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go to our current events. So we're going to play them and then we'll break them down as we go. Okay.
So I hope everybody out there is having a great day. We got a lot of stuff to dive into today. So in just a second, we have the economy is currently falling to pieces. I wish that wasn't true, but it is. And of course, it was predicted as well. So we'll get into that. We have mass layoffs that are hitting right now. We also have the hit job on Graham Plattner has backfired spectacularly. Wait until you see the size of the crowds that are coming out to see him now after the smear job. So we'll talk about that. We also have a man has been jailed now for months for posting an anti-Trump joke, a meme. And we talked about this a while ago. He's still locked up and he doesn't have a court date until December. So this is out of this world. This is truly North Korea-like stuff. So we'll talk about that. We also have Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes get together and play footsies under the table and touch tips. It's one of the gayest conversations I've ever seen in my life. We're going to play some hilarious moments from that one. Then we'll get to ICE is caught mass spying on Americans with illegal Israeli Pegasus spyware. Super disturbing. They could literally hack your phone at any time. They could be watching you when you have no idea. So this is truly, truly out there stuff, and we'll talk about that. Maddow did a big report on it. And then later on, Trump's health is failing him. And when he was in Japan, he was wandering around aimlessly, having no idea where he was. So very cool. Very normal. Everything's going swimmingly. So before I dive into that, of course, you guys know the drill. Everybody please subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you absolutely nothing. You can also support the show on Patreon. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never done an ad read, never talked to an advertiser, never took money from a billionaire or a government or a PAC or anything like that. Very proud of that fact. This is real independent media. You guys made that possible, and thank you for making that possible. So $2 a month goes a long way. $5 a month goes a long way. Again, much love to all you who already support the show. Could not do it without you. Also, guys, you can support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. We're going to be talking this week to an expert on Trump's attempts to steal the election. We're going to look into 2026, look into 2028, look into what their plans are and how they're unfolding. And of course, you could also go subscribe to the Corn's World YouTube channel where we post live Kyle and Corn episodes every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys, let's jump right in. So, hate to start the show with such abysmal news, but we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do. So take a look at this. Recent layoffs that were just announced. This is apocalyptic, if I'm being honest with you. UPS, 48,000 employees fired. Amazon, up to 30,000. Intel, 24,000. Nestle, 16,000. Accenture, 11,000. Ford, 11,000. Novo Nordisk, 9,000. Microsoft, 7,000. PwC, 5,600. Salesforce, 4,000. Paramount, 2,000. Target, 1,800. Kroger, 1,000. Applied Materials, 1,444. Meta, 600 employees. Guys, this is also just the beginning, bro. This is just the beginning. Don't say you weren't warned. I was warning you. Many people were warning you. The fact of the matter is, Trump has obliterated our economy with his stupid trade war, his dumbass tariffs. Now the world hates us. The world is moving away from us. Now inflation is continuing to skyrocket. Unemployment is going up. we are on the brink of an absolute catastrophic collapse and crash in our economy. And I think it will make the 2008 Great Recession look like child's play, if I'm being honest with you. That's where we're at. In fact, they say the AI bubble is like 17 times bigger than the internet bubble and 4 times bigger than the subprime mortgage crisis, which led to the Great Recession. So not looking pretty, y'all. Really, really not looking pretty. And like I said, this is just the beginning. I mean, I really think we're at the beginning of the pain here. And at the same time this is going on, any other president would be on top of this 24/7, trying to figure out what's going wrong and trying to fix it. Not Trump. Trump, if anything, is doing the opposite. He's trying to hide the data, trying to fudge the numbers. That's why he brought in his own Bureau of Labor Statistics hack to rig the data for him and lie for him so he can shove his head in the sand and go out there and pretend like everything's hunky-dory and everything's swell. That's why, you know, he goes out there and says, we got $20 trillion of investment in this country. Total fucking lie. In fact, we're hemorrhaging manufacturing jobs and now unemployment is skyrocketing. But he just lies and runs with it. This is what I mean when I say he's a right-wing postmodernist. This is right-wing postmodernist stuff. But it gets worse. Ready for this? So Kalshi says that there's a 98% chance of the Federal Reserve doing an interest rate cut. So they're looking to cut interest rates at a moment like this, which is very strange and very bizarre. Why are they doing it? Well, as Dr. Eric points out here, really bad signal. Normally, you almost never cut rates with rising inflation, but the only reason to cut interest rates despite higher inflation headwinds is if the economy is tanking, worse than inflation rising. And that's the unemployment crisis right now. So in other words, stagflation is here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the worst of the worst economic scenarios, is stagflation. The worst of the worst. Now, at the same time that's going on, remember, we're a month in to a government shutdown, all because the Republicans are saying we are mandating that your health insurance premium doubles, triples, and quadruples. And you have the Democrats going, look, you're not going to get 6 or 7 votes from us unless and until you protect the Obamacare subsidies, which would make it so healthcare premiums don't double, triple, and quadruple. And so for once, the Democrats are fighting, and they're correct to fight. And Trump is using this moment to basically take a sledgehammer to the federal government. Now, they already did this under Doge, so they were going to do it anyway. But one of the things we talked about is that Trump has the legal authority to release the funds for food stamps, the SNAP program, because American hunger is considered a vital issue that, you know, doesn't go with the government shutdown. You can still release those funds. Trump has decided, I'm not going to release the funds, and I'm going to pretend like I don't have the legal authority to release the funds. So 40 million Americans are going to go hungry because Trump's a piece of shit, and he wants them to go hungry. So as he's building his $300 million Great Gatsby, Marie Antoinette fucking billionaire ballroom, the Jeffrey Epstein Memorial Ballroom, as he's building that, Americans are going hungry all across this country. Absolutely disgusting, man. Disgusting and disturbing. And at the same time, we also have this. Take a look. Roughly 3,370 flights were delayed across the U.S. on Monday, day 27 of the government shutdown, as more essential workers failed to show up to work. So what tends to happen if you're not fucking paying people is after a while they go, well, I'm not going to fucking go to work. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my light bill. I can't put groceries on the table. And you want me to show up and work for fucking free? By the way, did you know this? You want to hear something fucking infuriating? You ready for this? So as over 1 million government workers are furloughed and they're not getting their fucking paychecks, did you know Congress is getting their paycheck?
Okay.
Not even working right now. They're not even fucking working, right? But they get their paycheck. Workers do not get their paycheck. I would be fucking furious. You want to know a way to quickly fix some shit like this? Make it so that senators and representatives also don't get their paycheck. Do that. And then I think we'd probably fucking fix this a hell of a lot quicker. So this is disturbing, but we also have, I got one more for you. Look at this, man. This is a new low. Trump just banned states from being able to wipe medical debt from Americans' credit reports. The Biden-Harris administration moved to wipe medical debt from credit reports. Now this new rule will keep $220 billion in medical bills on Americans' records. So this was another example of Democrats trying to hook up the American public and say, look, medical bills, first of all, medical bills, there shouldn't even be a thing called medical bills. But if they're going to exist, for fuck sure, they shouldn't ruin your credit report. If, you got hit with a big medical bill, surprise medical bill, you can't pay it. You want that to drag down your credit? That's insane, right? It's like some weird social credit score type system, which can ruin people's lives. So Democrats fix that. Trump goes in and goes, no, I side with the insurance companies. I side with the healthcare companies. I side with big pharma. I side with big business and the billionaires. Fuck you. Let that drag down your credit score. I don't care. And this is the same guy. Remember, he swooped in and saved the day to allow banks to keep charging you overdraft fees. Democrats cracked down on overdraft fees. Trump goes in there and goes, I'm with big business, baby. I'm with the billionaires. Let them rob the American people. I don't care. What the fuck does he care? He's crypto scamming his own supporters. He's worth billions and billions of dollars. He's violating the emoluments clause and being the most corrupt president of all time on a daily basis.
Okay. And feedback on that?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. He said a lot in that video, but I think that one of the things with what Trump is that you keep saying that Trump is bringing the nation down on purpose, because none of the moves that he made, if he was trying to actually preserve or help the nation and especially the citizens, he wouldn't be doing all these moves that him and his administration is making.
Right. Okay.
Hello?
Okay. Can you repeat that?
Oh, yes, sir. I was saying that just what everything that Trump is doing is intentional, seems like, because he's bringing down the nation. And then, but even more specifically, it seems like he's targeting a certain people, because only not sending him actually having the power to send that money during the shutdown. That that proves they don't care, because there is people who's not abusing it, not just selling the food stamps or whatever, doing whatever like that. Some people do actually need it, and they don't care about that at all.
Oh, right. They show that from day one. They don't. Yeah, they can care less what's going on with the American people and the public. Right. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Go to the next one.
Countries. Now, the new route will connect Novorossiysk.
So they didn't establish another route to trade and they exit out America.
And this is a strategic port on the Black Sea in Lagos, and this will be to Lagos in Nigeria. And the service is expected to launch in mid-June. Future expansion plans may also reach Senegal. Russian officials say that the shipping line will enable exports of agricultural goods, machinery, and transport equipment to Nigeria. In return, it will allow Russia to purchase cotton from a fellow West African state, Mali, regional staple with an annual output of over 650,000 tons.
For centuries, the rhythm of world trade was written far from Africa's shores. Ships left European harbors, crossed the oceans, and returned carrying Africa's raw wealth: gold, oil, copper, coffee, while the continent waited for finished goods to come back the other way. But today, a new story is unfolding along the coasts of Africa. From Lamu in Kenya to Lekki in Nigeria, from Djibouti to Port Said, cranes rise against the sunrise, steel tracks push inland, and a new generation of workers stand where their ancestors once watched foreign ships take everything away. This time the ships belong to Africa. What if the map of global commerce were being redrawn, not in Europe or Asia, but right here in African waters? Under the African Continental Free Trade Area, 55 nations are linking ports, railways, and digital customs systems into one of the largest trade networks on Earth. Economists call it integration. Historians will call it independence through connection. And as container vessels depart carrying goods made in Africa, not extracted from it, the sound of engines on the horizon becomes the heartbeat of a rising power. In Kenya's coastal heat, the deep water port of Lamu stands as a symbol of what is coming. Built to anchor the Lapset corridor that connects Kenya, Ethiopia, and South Sudan, it allows a shipment from Addis Ababa to reach Asian markets weeks faster than before. A decade ago, the idea sounded like fiction. Today, the cranes are real, the docks alive, the containers stacked higher each week. From East Africa to the Gulf of Guinea, new harbors are being born. Lekki in Nigeria, Tima in Ghana, Bagamoyo in Tanzania, each designed not for extraction, but for ownership. In the old order, the world built ports to take from Africa. In the new order, Africa builds ports to trade with itself and with partners on its own terms. At Lekki, the largest ships ever to reach West Africa glide into a basin engineered by African hands. Each container that lifts off the dock carries a message to the world. This is not business as usual. Behind the steel and concrete lies coordination. The African Union's Digital Customs Network now lets cargo clear across borders in hours instead of days. Truckers who once slept for weeks at checkpoints can cross nations in a single push. Freight trains snake across the savannah. Farmers load produce bound for export. Dashboards glow with live data from satellites and sensors. In Nigeria, refineries that once stood idle roar back to life, exporting finished fuel to African nations first and to the world second. The symbolism is unmistakable. Africa is no longer waiting for trade to come to it. Africa is the trade. Across 55 nations, a new strategy is emerging, one that values connectivity as much as currency, technology as much as territory. The African Continental Free Trade Area isn't just paperwork. It's becoming infrastructure, identity, and intention. Every railway laid, every new fiber line connected, every container tracked digitally, they all form the veins of a new economic organism. For centuries, Africa was the world's supplier. Now, it is building the systems to be the world's supplier and the world's trader. And this time, it will not be priced from the outside. Western corporations, long accustomed to dictating terms, now face a marketplace that speaks with one unified voice. The old formula of extraction and exploitation no longer computes in a continent designing its own algorithms of trade. The numbers are staggering. Africa's shipping and logistics market is projected to exceed $1 trillion within a decade, powered by automation, local manufacturing, and strategic partnerships with BRICS nations. The Red Sea and Indian Ocean, once seen as peripheral corridors, now pulse with African-led shipping consortia rivaling global giants. In Addis Ababa, the African Union's Economic Commission finalizes the Continental Maritime Integration Strategy, a bold blueprint to synchronize all African ports under shared digital systems, cutting transaction costs by up to 40%.
Okay. Any feedback on that? We're slowly exiting us out. Americans out. Okay.
Right, Shalom, yes, sir. It seemed like the power is being turned over, right?
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, sir. In those trade routes, you those ports that they're building to trade with their sales, it does show that the West would want to cut that off because some of the other ports that they were building before this, videos that I seen, like about Torre and Ghana and all that, they're all about exporting. But in this video, it specifically said they're building ports to trade within the nation or continent of Africa. So that's big right there to me.
Exactly. Right. That's prophecy too. Okay. Yeah. So and it's happening so fast. Like I said, you're gonna wake up one day, you're gonna have to make a decision whether you're gonna stay here or go. Okay. So with that being said, got some need to know information. We'll play that and then we'll talk about it. So dealing with what happened over in Jamaica. The aftermath.
It's our pleasure to welcome you here to NBC News Daily, where we start with Hurricane Melissa carving a path of destruction through the Caribbean. As we speak, Melissa is still on the move, leaving Cuba and battering the Bahamas.
It comes after the monster storm made a record-shattering landfall in Jamaica yesterday as one of the most powerful hurricanes of all time in the Atlantic. It was a Category 5 storm, 185-mile-an-hour winds when it struck. Take a look at the sheer force of this storm. The entire island has been declared a disaster area. Today, Jamaican officials said it is still unclear how many people may have died, and the scale of the damage is still very much being assessed.
Videos are emerging of the devastation in western Jamaica. In fact, you can see police officers here picking through the wreckage there in Black River. That was right there near the eye wall.
NBC News meteorologist Bill Carrots is following the path of destruction left by Melissa right now. So let's talk about where the storm is now, Bill, and where the most urgent threats are.
Yeah, the weather in the southern Bahamas is going downhill in a hurry. It's beginning to improve in areas of eastern Cuba. Jamaica, sunny, totally fine weather today to get the assessment done and to begin, some of the getting people help that need it. So the storm itself is located heading now almost into the Bahamas. You notice the bright red here on the clouds. That's where the heaviest rain is, and the thunderstorms and the strongest gusty winds will be heading there. The storm is moving much quicker now, up to 14 miles per hour. When it went over Jamaica, it's only moving at like 5 to 8 miles per hour. So it's quickly going to move through the Bahamas. By this evening, it'll be gone, it'll be done, and then it doesn't look like it's going to hit anyone else. It's still raining pretty hard, though, from Guantanamo all the way through eastern portions of Cuba. So it's going to be a little while before their weather begins to improve. This is the strongest Atlantic landfall on record. They'll go and, after, the season's over the winter, they'll go, analyze all the data they got. And it may even shift up to the biggest, strongest ever in post-analysis. So here's a look at the current winds. A lot of the wind gauges have stopped working there in Cuba, of course, as the storm went through. The same for the Bahamas. But, some of the stronger gusts are going to be right through that southern portion of the Bahamas. That's where the hurricane warnings are. Also hurricane warning there for Bermuda. And this is how it plays out. By the time we get to about 11 p.m., it's done with the Bahamas. And it now looks, guys, to miss Bermuda. So that's good for that.
Now we're just in survival mode, trying to find a way out.
Frankly, I think we're happy to just see you and hear from you, because I know yesterday there was just so much going on. We were worried for you personally. I mean, we were hearing the things you were hearing outside. And how are your kids doing? How is your wife Paige doing? And did you feel safe, when the brunt of that storm was hitting?
It was definitely the scariest thing I've ever gone through in my life. The winds, at home, Cat 2, Cat 3 comes through, and I'm one of the people that likes to go out and sort of be outside watching the trees and everything like that. I didn't even really want to leave the room. Most of the videos that I posted was after it was over with. The kids are doing great. Obviously now they've seen the devastation of it.
So have had USAID, which of course we've been reported on extensively over many months about how that agency has had its resources.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on what happened? They heard anything about what happened in Jamaica? Any feedback on that? Okay. With that being said, we're gonna go to our Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments, dialogue, anything they came across they want to talk about?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. Why do you think that's happening in Jamaica right now?
Well, it seems like to me it's hot, because it just sit there for almost 5 days. It's like they intentionally want to totally destroy the place. And then, like he was just saying, now all of a sudden it's moving fast. But as long as it was over Jamaica, it was barely moving, dumping all the water and all that. And so, to me, when you go back and you look at, they always talking about records, and they said the before this storm right here, Katrina was the worst. Then now it's this storm, and then Katrina is second. Both of them brought devastating blows to black folks. And it's just and the timing of it, it ain't. It's like it's working with the government. You can say that.
Okay, I was gonna ask about. I meant to ask about that yesterday. Did you think it was harps, or was
Yeah,
it
yeah, exactly.
okay?
That's what I believe.
Okay, that makes
Man,
sense.
I don't think that's it. If you notice the last 2-3 hurricanes that came, what happened in Puerto Rico? Right behind it, they brought another one right behind it, and so Haiti, same thing, and now here. So I don't think that's it, but we'll see. Anybody else got anything? Okay, put this right here. Get some feedback.
The American people that chaos could ensue in just mere days. What we're being told is to not go outside. Do not go to the grocery store come Saturday. You need to go to the grocery store today or tomorrow, and then do not go for several days or possibly weeks, depending on a specific situation. I'll explain more on that in a moment, but that is what is concerning. That police are now telling us they are being asked to patrol grocery store parking lots. Listen to this, okay? And let me show you this, and this is the reason why. It says, fuming SNAP recipients threaten to loot if food stamps are cut November 1st. It says, stay the F out of my way. I want to read this to you. It says right here, SNAP recipients are taking to TikTok and threatening to loot grocery stores if their food stamp payments don't go through on November 1st due to the government shutdown. Person says, I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the F off for November. Y'all better stay the F out of my way in these stores because I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for anything. Okay, interesting. Here's where things are going to go, well, sideways. And we do have some good news, and I'm going to explain that. Okay, let me explain that first, and I want to read you something. According to President Trump, he says SNAP benefits will be solved for November. The only problem, we do not know how. We don't know where that money's coming from, and we do not know if it will go to all 43 million Americans that are currently receiving benefits. But I want to read you this morning. Here it is. This is a comment that I received just the other day. This person says, and I quote, I have been a police officer for 13 years, and the last time we were told to patrol the grocery stores was back in 2020 during the initial lockdown. Okay? That was the pandemic. It says, in the beginning, we saw stores being looted, people getting robbed of toilet paper in the parking lots, and others stealing cases of water in preparation of something similar due to SNAP not sending benefits out. Our department is being asked to patrol the stores once again. I don't know how bad this could get, but maybe put out a warning to your channel. Okay. So when this person says that they do not know how bad this could get, but their department is being asked to patrol the stores once again, police don't just go and patrol a parking lot of a grocery store just because. Okay? But I've been also told by another friend of mine that their department is being asked or being told that they could be putting in a few more hours every single day as a result of what's coming. But listen to this one. Okay, this is somebody that is working for a pizza place. Listen to this. This person says, and I quote, how bad do you expect the food situation to get if food stamps aren't issued? I asked because I do web design for local restaurants, and I was asked by a small pizza chain starting Friday night to require payment via card only, no cash. Here's why. The owner says that they have been warned that people could order food to homes that aren't theirs, and they could try and rob the driver before they make it to the door. This sounds very serious, and I'm not sure. Is it me or is the owner just going over the top here? Let that sink in for a second, okay? People are being very open with how they're going to get food. Some are just going to go into the store and steal it with carts full of food. Others are concerned that they are going to see people robbed inside the parking lots as they're putting food into their carts or into their cars. People are just going to rob them of that food. That's extremely concerning. Others say, and this restaurant owner says that they're concerned that people are going to order pizza or other food to a home that isn't theirs. Then they will go there, rob the delivery driver before they ever get to the door. That in a memo that
I caught my stepson spying on me in the shower.
Okay, so what you think? Any feedback on that?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. That could cause that uprising they want.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Right. Especially if they start injuring people.
Right. That's why they need it.
Mm-hmm. Just something. Yeah, so here we go. Somebody I don't think nobody heard, but you need to check it out. Let me play this. Here we go. It's big. This is my topic for discussion.
Calling it a mass blackout. Not a march, not a protest, no science necessary. It's 1 week where we pull our dollars out of the system and see what happens when the economy feels the weight of our absence. Because we've marched, we've begged, most of us voted the right way. And now we're just going to sit back and test the one thing this country truly worships: money. See, this isn't the first time we've tried this, right? Economic boycotts have always been the heartbeat of real change, from Montgomery to Operation Breadbasket. When the buses lost money, segregation fell. When companies realized ignoring Black consumers meant losing profit, they started hiring, promoting, and pandering. History has already shown us that pulling our dollars hits harder than any speech, any march, any protest ever could. The timing isn't random. Black Friday is the biggest spending weekend in America. Billions get poured into corporations that barely reinvest in the communities that made them rich in the first place. So from November 25th to December 2nd, the goal is simple, okay? Buy nothing that doesn't circulate back into us. You hear me? Support small, support local, support Black. Because when we withhold our dollars, we remind this country that we're not just consumers. We are the economy. So yeah, the mass blackout isn't about canceling Christmas or skipping joy. It's about shifting power and realizing that every dollar that we spend is a vote for the world that we live in. They've ignored our voices. They've ignored our pain. Let's see if they ignore our absence. We're not asking anymore. We are shutting this shit down, okay? No spending. If you do need something, make sure you go to farmers market, support small businesses. There's a ton of places that you can go to make sure you support the right people, not corporations. We are done.
Of darkness, but because truth is withdrawing. Yeah, let's watch those videos, right? And I'll be back with the conclusion.
The people are going to be looking for ways to organize, and not only does the government know, but this app knows. I don't know how far this particular video will travel, but I made a previous one explaining to everyone that there is a mass blackout on the way. People are looking to get together, stand up for each other, stand up for this democracy, but I promise you the word will not travel as fast. So not only do we need to spread the word here, we need to spread the word any and everywhere we can. Don't you want to take some power back from this government? Don't you want to try and stand up for what is right? Stand up for what we all know we need? Don't you want to let them know that we have a problem with how they do business and that there is accountability that should come? They feel like they will never face the judgment of the people. They feel like they will never be held accountable for what they're doing right now. They think they are going to reshape this society into something that will never change back to what we have all grown accustomed to. And on top of that, they're hoping that we get so desperate that we crash out and result to something very, very violent so that they can be violent back. But that does not have to happen. We can take the same energy that we took at No King's Day, we can take the same energy and apply it to saving our money. Because let's be honest, where are your tax dollars even going? And even if you support what they're doing right now, even if you voted for these people, you also know that our tax dollars are not going anywhere to benefit the American people. They are only going to places that benefit the man in office. Spread the word. We genuinely don't have much time left.
You can't keep scrolling because we have an action. The People's Sick Day has released their dates, and we are aligning ourselves with other movements who have also released the same exact dates. And now it's time for you to hold your favorite creators responsible. There's a lot of people out here claiming to be activists, claiming to be community leaders. Well, let's have them put their money where their mouth is. Every organization that's out there calling themselves an organization for the people, it's time for you to stand up. This is the mission. Complete economic and labor blackout starting on November the 25th, going all the way to December the 2nd, and further if we need to. Anyone who is not supporting this, can you really trust them? Anyone who's not backing up a blackout, should we be listening to them? You see it all up and down your timeline. Everyone knows what we need to do. And here is the date. Initially, we wanted to wait. We wanted to take them by surprise. But what we also see is that it's going to take unity. And that means making a sacrifice and putting egos to the side and not worrying about your plan and jumping on with people who are already organizing. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take all content creators getting on the same page. It's going to take all organizations announcing the dates at the same time. So let's go.
For the blackout and big beautiful boycott.
Mass blackout. I can honestly say I agree. The black dollar, the immigrant dollar, the alien dollar that fuels this country, that is the way we let this present administration know that our dollars move this country. We don't need to march. We don't need to protest. We don't need to sign petitions. We need to speak the language they understand. Money. So what I want you guys to do from November 25th to December 2nd, don't buy anything that does not help your community. Don't go to Publix, Walmart, Target, BJ's, any of those major brand white-owned companies that don't respect us but benefit from our dollar. I think this is one way we get them to understand the power of the blacks, the illegals, the immigrants that fuel this country. See, they don't respect anything else. The only thing that white folks, the establishment, seem to understand is money. And we need to let them understand that while we individually don't have a lot of money, we collectively have more money than they do. So let's show that strength. We're going to do a blackout. They already started the movement over, and I need you guys to support it. We understand that. I truly understand that every white person is not a part of this, but enough of them are to affect the change. So we need you guys, because we understand that white people have always fought alongside us. And for those that have done it throughout the generations, we appreciate it. And we're asking you to do the same thing again. Just stand with us. You don't have to do anything. You don't need to do anything, but specifically to the blacks, the Latinos, the Hispanic, the Asian, the immigrants community. I'm asking you guys, don't spend anything with none of these businesses unless it benefits you or your community. Hit me back, man. Let's do this. Let's show them that unified, we are as powerful as they are.
So I've been hearing rumblings about a mass blackout this holiday season that's supposed to run from November 25th to December 2nd. And I'm all here for it 100%. Thanksgiving is canceled. Black Friday is canceled. These corporations shouldn't see 1 cent of our fucking money. But I do have a question though, right? Why are we only limiting this shit to 1 week instead of indefinitely? The whole holiday season should be canceled, in my opinion. These motherfuckers don't deserve our money. Not when these corporations go out of their way to lobby against the interests of the American people, also that they can make a dollar. Not when these corporations and these businesses and these one percenters engage in unethical and predatory business practices to extract even more wealth from the middle and lower class, all the while dodging their own fucking taxes. We shouldn't just be trying to teach them a lesson for a week. We should be teaching them a lesson until they learn that ultimately, fuck what them shareholders are talking about. We are the consumer. You get your money from us. And without us, you're nothing. This shit should be the target boycott on steroids, not just for a week, not just for 2 weeks, for as long as it takes until they learn the lesson they need to ultimately learn. We got to be real comfortable with not getting what we want. We got to be real comfortable with being uncomfortable. We got to get comfortable with making compromises and sacrifices if we want anything to change. And most importantly, we got to identify where we're actually appreciated as far as businesses are concerned, whether that be local or small business. Either way, we got to learn where to direct our dollars such that they are not used against us. I'm all for a blackout, but a week ain't enough. A week is not enough.
There, my name is Stephanie.
Okay. What you think about that? Any feedback? Anybody heard anything about it?
Yes, sir, Mr. Leonard. I think about the irony of what he's saying. I agree what he's saying, but my problem is we're tore up in our community. The dollar in our community lasts seconds. In other communities, they last longer. It's not a everybody else thing. It's a us thing. We already know we under them curses and everything else, but we should have woke up already. At the end of the day, I mean, think about it. The irony of it. No welfare, but then there's division, right? There's division amongst our races. The black woman, the black man, and all this fighting going on our side. If we can come together and do what we supposed to be doing, we wouldn't have this problem. You know, some people talks about, hey, I can open your eyes to the gold backs. I can open your eyes. Let's invest into this. Let's do this. It's like the crab pot mentality in 2025.
Right.
That's on us. You know, to be honest with you, all this is on us. We can't get together. You know, like I say, I love my brothers and sisters, but I don't like them N words and those B words.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't get it together. So we can't blame nobody else because it's hashtag divest Blackistan. Hashtag this, hashtag that.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So, I mean, we don't have nobody else to blame but us, because in the Arab community in America, the Muslim community in America, the Jewish community in America, Chinese people, Mexicans coming over here into the ghettos and opening up restaurants and flourishing.
Right.
That's on us.
Exactly. You did something? Anybody else got something on that? They heard anything about this? This blackout?
And what we gonna do, Mr. Leonard? You just said it's gonna be a blackout. Should we be coming together?
Exactly.
This is the time to come together.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to go down the 25th through the 2nd, December 2nd, to see what happened. I think what happened was they had 2 or 3 movements, and they came. These same people tied to those No King protests. So they had another one where I think had to do with medical, going home on sick leave for 3 days, and then they all came together and they all decided to from November 25th. They're gonna exile Thanksgiving until all the way to December 2nd.
And Mr. Leonard, it's the same thing with Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
We knew them gay women came out and got the money from George Soros. Okay. We thinking it's a movement for us, right?
Right.
But it wasn't. We always finagled. We always in the middle. If we are not participating, nothing can happen.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? Because that's what the Most High say. That's why they want us in Africa. That's why they want us in these other places, because that's where they prosper.
Right. Revenue.
That's why everybody come to our community and eat good except for us. That's a problem.
Exactly.
So if we can't get right, you know, the world gonna love that.
Exactly.
Even if we go to Africa, say we go to Burkina Faso or all over there, if we not on one accord, our presence is enough.
Exactly.
That's a problem.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay.
And Brother Leonard, Shalom. By blackout, you mean they saying like not spending money
Right.
with the corporations? Okay. So then you said some of them people was from the No Kings protests. So these is Gentile people joining in with Hebrews, or
Right. It's just like with Kingdom when he marched with the matter of fact that the first sister brought it up about the bus boycotts. So now what they're doing now is they retaliating on what they seeing the Republican Party doing with Trump now, with all the firing and all that. So they coming back and they saying they're gonna show them how much power we have when it comes to finances. So they're gonna cut off the powers that be, and they're not gonna spend no money with them doing Thanksgiving all the way to December 2nd.
And that's crazy because we can't even get together to be able to feed these people. I'm in Florida, you in Louisiana. How are we gonna take up donations? Can we all feed each other after this? And then the bad thing about that, Mr. Leonard, is I can open a black-owned restaurant right now in Florida, and you know people will not even want to deal with me, my people, because I have this restaurant. They don't want to see me with this money. They don't want to deal with it. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
Well, that's how it's been. I mean,
that's how it's always been.
I've experienced that before myself. Yeah,
exactly. So they don't want to see you what they say, the crab pot mentality.
Exactly. Crab in a bucket.
We got it. Yes, sir. Crab in a bucket. We got to be on one accord. But it's not about protesting or doing anything to it. Like right now, all these videos. Now, Walmart want to shut down their stores November the 1st because all these people are saying we're going to steal. Ain't that crazy? What? If you're going to do something, keep it to yourself. If you're going to protest, if you're going to do all of this stuff, keep it to yourself. If you saying this out loud, guess what? George Soros might be behind it. He might be behind it, or some government agencies behind it in order for them to get the word. Why tell on yourself? If we're going to quietly boycott something, leave it amongst us.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? And that's the problem we have. I don't get it.
Okay.
And we crying out. We crying out. All praise the Most High, because he said, you either going to cry now or you're going to cry later. We crying out to the Most High. He hears our cries. But at the same time, we got to do better because we know better. We keeping the laws. Everybody keeping the Shabbat. Supposed to be dealing with people that's keeping the Shabbat and be on one accord. We got to do what we got to do, and the Most High going to hear our prayers. That's why we on this channel. Every Shabbat, every day, Mr. Leonard start this show with telling you how the show is going and everything else, and then we all praying, correct?
Correct.
That's how it's supposed to be. It ain't about drifting off, or we gonna go take care of this. We run into Walmart, all the ghetto and all these. It's bad business.
Exactly.
That's why they shutting down Walmart on the 1st of November. Did anybody hear about that?
I heard something about it. I was watching the video
Yes,
on it.
they shutting them down. Now you got to call and put your order in, and then it's gonna be curbside. You ain't gonna be able to go into Walmart because everybody say they about to steal.
Right.
Praise the Most High.
Want to get something? Oh, yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So yeah. So we're gonna be reading out of the book of Deuteronomy tonight. We're gonna be reading chapters 16 to 20. So we're gonna do like we normally do. We'll read a chapter. We'll come back and we'll chop it up, break it down, and we'll do that from Deuteronomy 16 to 20. Anidra, you gonna read chapter 16?
Yes, sir. Shalom. Deuteronomy chapter 16. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and the herd in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days. Neither shall there be anything of the flesh which thou sacrifice the first day at even, remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. But at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go unto thy tents. 6 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou remember unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God, with the tribute of a freewill offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God has blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine, and thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God which he hath given thee. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set up any image which the Lord thy God hateth. That was Deuteronomy chapter 16. Shalom.
Okay, anybody have any comments on that chapter? Anything that stick out? Deuteronomy chapter 16. So when he says 3 appointed feast days, verse 16 explains it says 3 times in a year shall all thy male appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. That's 3 feasts. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty. So the place which I broke it down the other day, the place in which he chooses the tabernacle. Okay. So if nobody else have anything on that, we're going to go to chapter 17. You're going to read 17 and 18, AJ? I'll read the last 2.
Right. Yes, sir. In Deuteronomy 17, certain abominations of worship. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock, sheep, wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman that have wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant. Verse 3, and have gone and excuse me, my fault. Verse 3, and have gone and served other gods and worshiped them, either the sun or moon or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing onto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to be on him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priest, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt say, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thee, from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, you shall henceforth return no more that way, neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away, neither shall he greatly multiply himself silver and gold. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of the and shalom. That was Deuteronomy chapter 17.
Okay, got
Hey, AJ, excuse me, Miss Elena. I would like to say this. In a strong economy, a strong world we live in, because everything's strong right now. Well, it is. It makes, in a strong economy, what makes weak men. And in a weak economy, makes strong men, correct?
Okay.
When everything, think about it. When everything is chaos and war breaks out, who's doing what? Right? The man has to step up, correct?
Correct.
In a weak economy, a man has to step up. And in a strong economy, who steps up? And we watching a strong economy. I mean, this economy is gone, but think about it. In a strong economy, who's stepping up? And in a weak economy, who's stepping up? In a weak economy, men step up. We go to war. We do what we got to do to strengthen the economy. And when that economy gets strong, guess who runs it? Crazy.
Okay.
Women. I mean, think about it. We watching it as economies go. And that's what AJ was just reading. You can watch the strong economy and then a weak economy. AJ just read it.
Right. Exactly.
All praise.
Right. Yeah. Kingdoms. Right.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay, son. You got any feedback on that channel, AJ?
What the multiply the horses in the wives in verses 16 and 17, could you break that down, the what they mean by that, or what the Lord means by this?
Well, when they horses is chariots, right?
Okay.
So that war. So you're not with that building up for war, a war machine like America did, the Germans did, and then we saw what happened when a man multiplied a bunch of women up toward him. We saw what it done to Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling them, don't do that right here. Don't when you get the king, don't allow him to do that, because it ain't gonna turn out good. And we see in both cases with Saul, and we see with Solomon, it didn't turn out good. So that's what. So he actually was in error, right? In error when all this happened. But this, from what he told him right here, Solomon was in error, and we saw what he done to him too.
And Brother Leonard, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. He was in error for having strange wives or for having multiple wives?
Both of them. He multiplied them. He multiplied wives to himself. I mean, he had, you know what I'm saying, he had over like what they was, 800 concubines. And
right,
what,
yes, sir.
Yeah, so that was way above his pay grade, and he couldn't. It took him out because they especially them being strange women. They came in with their customs and with their gods, and then he by trying to get along with them and favor them, he ended up allowing them. He had gods all over, idols and statues all over Israel, trying to please those women. And but I want to shine a light on this 14. It says, this is before they got a king, and this is what people have to understand the difference in Saul and David. He says in 14, when thou art come into the land, they ain't got there yet. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, right? And I broke down to you what a king is. So it says, I will set a king over me, like as the nations that are about me. So when you understand that, when they came out of Egypt, we see it in Deuteronomy chapter 2, they came through the wilderness, they came into all these giant nations, all these Canaanite nations, and they all had a king over them. And they was all of great stature, and they had all these crowns, fashion crowns with jewels and crowns all in it. They had on all the jewels and crowns and expensive broderie clothes and all that on them. So when they got to the land of Israel, that's what they wanted, despite what the Lord of hosts had done, delivering them out of Egypt and all the things he done in the land in front of their face. But when they got to the land, they wanted a king over them, like the other nations. So that's where that's coming from. And that's the reason why they did what they did. Even though the Lord of hosts was up on the top of the mountain, they still down on the bottom of the mountain and made a golden calf, because that golden calf represented the king they dealt with that was a giant in Egypt. So they never got away from it. And one of the people, and then even when Saul, the scriptures make you a point to tell you that he was head and shoulders taller than everybody else. So they wanted a giant over them. And then even Saul, when he was ordered to do away with this Malachite nation, they were giants, descendants from the giants. He told them to destroy them, utterly destroy them, everybody, young and old and all that. Saul obeyed his commandment all the way up to the point where he kept the king, because he marveled at his height and his stature and his, So Saul kept him. He didn't kill him. Samuel had to kill him. And another thing that people don't, they overlook it. And the other nations that are doing it today, it goes back to what was being said earlier, how we can't come together. But right here it says, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna start at 18 till I come to it. It says, and it shall be when here you go, 18. And it shall be when he sitteth, the king, whatever king they get, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him of this law. So he should have a book of or he should have a Torah, first 5 books. It shall be, he says that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priest and the Levites, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all his words of this law and these statutes, to do them. So at all times, he's supposed to have a book of the law with him wherever he go. And then, so like I said, now we're looking at the president got one. Every president got one. Queen Elizabeth over there, they got one. So they doing what they copying off us, doing what we eventually didn't do. So and that was the purpose of us going into captivity in Babylon was Nebuchadnezzar came because of, when you go back and look at the stories and how it unfolded during the time of Josiah, before Josiah came on the scene, 490 years had passed, and they found the book of the law down in the bottom of the temple. They had gathered dust. Hilkiah found it, and Hilkiah brought it up to Josiah, and then Josiah rent his clothes. So all that time, 490 years, they hadn't been keeping the law, and especially dealing with the land, because he brought them there and gave them that land, good land, and his laws pertaining to that land. 6 days you till the ground, and the 7th day you allow the ground to rest. And they didn't do that. So 490 years divided by 7 is 70 years. So that's why they had to go to Babylon. He brought Nebuchadnezzar and brought them into Babylon for 70 years of captivity, because they didn't keep those 70 years of release that was in the law, because they weren't dealing with the law. They had threw the book away. Okay. So we're gonna read chapter 18.
Right. Yes, sir. And it says, the priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the maw, the first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel, where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand before the Lord. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. For there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of the times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doeth drive them out before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him you shall hearken, according to all that thou desireth of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have well spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou shalt say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him.
Okay,
And
Deuteronomy 19, 18.
18, yes, sir.
They got something, feedback?
Right here to me, Brother Leonard, in verse, where is that at? In verse 7, where it says, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. In Numbers 18 and Isaiah 53, and even Isaiah 43, when it says, you are my witnesses,
Right.
to me this seemed like a precept to that.
Oh yeah, it is right here. I was going to say that in starting out in verse 8, in chapter 18, starting out verse 1. You can, when you understand who the slave is, the suffering servant, you can see it right here. And it says, verse 1, the priest and the Levite, they go to suffering servant, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he have said unto them. See that? So as he done said unto them. So they had a whole conversation, just him and them and him. The rest of Israel wasn't even there. I'll read that verse again. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he has said unto them. So they had a closed door meeting. The rest of Israel wasn't there. And that's the same thing, like he said. He said, he talking to them when he's in Isaiah 43. You my witness, because I done brought you to myself. You there, you in the temple. You there when the word go forth. You there, you in the temple. Well, that's how they go. Got anything else on that?
And Brother Leonard, in verse 16, in that the great fire, and it says that's the Lord of hosts, right?
Yeah, verse 16, according to all that thou desire of the Lord thy God in Horeb. See that? What happened at Horeb?
The angel was on the burning bush, or the
Exactly.
angel was burning bush, right?
Same, that great fire, same fire. Right. And then, just for GP, we can see typology in Deuteronomy 18 and 15. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from midst of thee. Moses talking. He told this to Moses. The Lord of hosts told this to Moses. The Lord thy God will raise up a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, likened unto me, likened unto Moses. Unto him shall ye hearken. That's one of the precepts. They use typology. They say it's JC, but we know it's Joshua. Let me go and show you that. So we go to, that's the prophecy right there. It came to pass right here in Deuteronomy 34 in verse 9. And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, and Moses laid hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. So there you go, the prophecy being fulfilled. It was spoken in Deuteronomy 18 and 15, and it was fulfilled in Deuteronomy 34 and 9. It don't have nothing to do with JC. That's a prime example of typology. Okay. Anybody else got anything else? Okay, I'm gonna read Deuteronomy 19 and Deuteronomy 20. Cities of refuge. Okay, and notice America got cities of refuge. Like I'm saying, these people didn't last as long as they have because they duplicating our God and they duplicating what was the law that was given to us. It says, and when the Lord thy God have cut off the nations whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeeded them and dwelleth in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way and divide the coast of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whosoever killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in the time of past, as when a man goeth to the woods with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down a tree, and the head slippeth off of the heave, and lieth upon his neighbor, that he die. He shall flee unto one of these cities and live, lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thee to thy fathers. If thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee besides these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and raise up against him, smite him morally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hands of the avenger of blood, that he may die. We saw how Solomon did that when David died. His thine eyes shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of his innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old times have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin that he sinned. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make excuse me, diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you, and those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you, and thine eyes shall not pity, but life shall go forth for life, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, and foot for a foot. So that was Deuteronomy 19. Any comments, any feedback? Okay, I'll read chapter 20, the laws concerning war. And when thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of, let's say, read it again. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. Read that again. The Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you, right? Save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that have built a new house and have not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that have planted a vineyard and have not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is he is there that have betrothed a wife and have not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle, and another man take her. And the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren hearts faint as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they should make captains of the armies to lead the people. And when thou comest nigh unto the city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it makes thee and it shall be, if it makes thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then shall it be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God have delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male therein with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoils thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoils of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God have given thee. And thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but of the cities of thy people, which the Lord thy God doeth give thee for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites, the Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God have commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations which they have done unto their gods. So shall ye sin against the Lord your God. And when thou shalt besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them. And thou shalt not cut cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou know that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. So that was chapter 20. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? Let me shine a light on this one situation. You notice how the Lord, he told them that in verse 14, two things. But we say when you come to a city and besiege it, kill all the males, right? It says smite every male thereof with the edge of a sword, but the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoils thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. And thou shalt eat of the spoils of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. So we see right here, they kill the males, but they can keep the women. So that's another testimony right there. The seed, when it comes to the seed line, the Israelite male has the seed. So if he marries a woman outside of Israel, the kid is an Israelite because the man has the seed. That's an example right there. But the other thing was, see what he says. He said, when you come to a city, verse 15, thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of thy cities of these nations, but the cities of these nations, which the Lord, I'll go back up 14. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, 10. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. So when you get there, you proclaim peace to the people. Then it said 11, and it shall be if they make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that are found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. So when you go back to 2 Samuel, that's what David did. He says that when Balaam prophesied that a scepter was going to rise out of Israel, and he's going to smite the corners of Moab and Ammon and all that, David did all that, but they submitted to David, and David made tributaries out of them. Okay, so I saw that when I was reading. Okay, anybody else got anything on that? Okay, we're gonna pick a scripture. We'll read that scripture and then we'll break it down and we'll close out. Somebody got a scripture?
And Brother Leonard, I was gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 9.
Okay.
Excuse me, in verse 3. And it says, understand therefore this day that the Lord thy God is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord hath said unto thee. Shalom. It's Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 3.
Okay. Okay, what you got on that?
Oh, just that's the Lord of hosts.
All right, yeah. So go along with the great fire.
Right, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so with that being said, I see we have a visitor or whatever. If you want to come in through and engage, you got to call 337-802-0889, and then we can send you the link. That way you can come in and engage in the class, or you can continue to come to through YouTube. It's all good. But if you want to engage, like I said, you call that number 337-802-0889. Then we'll get your information, and that way we can send you the link. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I see everybody. We have our Women's Advanced Bible Study tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. The men can come in through YouTube. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom, and another shalom.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament in Tanak, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is and the Godhead.